Hi, welcome to LG Tranquility Maths Academy, bringing calm to mathematics. No pressure, no stress. It's maths easy, bana ba ko hae. Today, I'm having a question paper, grade 11 mathematics question paper here. So I'm going to focus on this question paper today, bana ba ko hae, and then just for revision for June exam. So, bana ba ko hae. Question 1, bafethu. Under normal circumstances, bafethu, it's plus minus 26 marks or 30. So bafethu, let's marinate without any further ado. Question 1, the examiner said, question 1, what do we have? 1.1. They said solve for x. Solve for x. Then we have 1.1.1. Then the examiner gave us something of this nature, x minus 2 equals to 0. Bafethu, if you have something of this nature, they say solve for x. You don't have to expand this. Don't expand this one. Why? Because that's where many learners you lose marks. You want to expand this. Then now from here, you can apply what we call a zero factor theorem. A multiplied by b being equals to 0 is the same as a equals to 0 or b equals to 0. I'm going to use this zero factor theorem. So we'll have x being equals to 0 or x minus 2 equals to 0, then x equals to what? 2. Therefore, x equals to 0 or x equals to 2. You transpose this to the other side, it becomes negative 2. I hope it makes sense and everyone omonat. Now, when I go high, 1.1.2, we have something of this nature. We have x into 3x, then plus 13, equals to 2. Then the examiner say correct to 2 decimal place. Once you see this kind of question, they say correct to 2 decimal place. You must know you must use quadratic equation here. So let's expand. If you expand and simplify, we'll have 3x multiplied by 3x, that's going to be 3x squared. X multiplied by this, 13x. Then you take this to the other side, it becomes negative 2 equals to 0. Then our quadratic equation equals to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. Then this is nothing but minus into what is the value of b? 13 plus or minus the square root of 13 squared minus 4a, 3c minus 2. All divided by 2 multiplied by a yarena 3. Then let's substitute and see what we get. But now go higher. If you marinate here, you'll have minus into 13 plus the square root of 13 squared, which is 169 minus 4a, 3 close open minus 2 close, divided by 2 into 3. That's going to be, the first x value is 0.148, which is 15. Or the second one, then now you erase the plus, then you substitute minus. Then we get negative 4.48. These are our x values. Then you get your 4 marks. So if it makes sense. Then 1.1.3. 1.1.3 examiner was saying that we have the square root of x minus 3 minus 4 equals to 5. This one is a SAT. You solve for x using SAT. SAT, it says that for you to solve for x here, the first you have principles or steps. Step number 1, you isolate the SAT. What is to isolate? To make it a point ukuthi ubaba usala 1. You isolate. Nazi nge-COVID bebakuthi bafaka ku-isolation room if temperature. So you isolate. Number 2, you square. After squaring, you solve for x. Then the last step, then you check your answer. Answer million. You take, let's isolate. You take minus 4 to the other side. We're going to have the square root of x minus 3 being equal to 5 plus 4. That's 9. Then we have isolated. Now, what is the next step? Now you square. Why are you squaring? Because you want to get rid of the square root. The square root will cancel with 2. You'll have x minus 3 being equals to 9 squared. That's 81. You take this to the other side, you'll have x being equals to what? What is 81 plus 3? That's going to be 84. Then you check your answer. How do you check your answer? Where you see x, you're going to substitute what? 84. So now 84 minus 3, that's going to be what? 81. What is the square root of 81? That's 9. 9 minus 4, that's 5. Then therefore x equals to what? 84. This is our solution. Then you get your, this one, it was 3 marks because in way value. It is very simple. Then we have 1.1.4. Inequalities. Inequalities one over go high. X plus 1 into 2x minus 3 is greater than 0. So this is the inequality. Now, for us to solve for this, you'll say for critical values for CV. Then we'll have x plus 1 into 2x minus 3 equals to 0. Then from here, you apply the zero factor theorem. X equals to positive 1 to the other side, it becomes negative 1, or 2x negative 3 to the other side, it becomes 3. Therefore, our x equals to minus 1, or you divide by 2, divide by 2. X equals to what? 3 over 2. Then you draw a parabola for us to find a solution. Then you minus 1, you have 3 over 2. Then the inequality says that greater than, something that is greater, which means you shade above. We will shade above, we shade above. Then the shaded region, it represents the solution, the x value. Remember, you have minus 1. So the more you shade going to the left, you are going less than. So which means the first solution, x is less than minus 1. Then this is an open. Then you say open. Why? Because they have not included 0. Then or the second solution, x. The more you shade growing more than 3 over 2, you are becoming greater. So x is greater than 3 over 2. Then this is your solution. Then you are done. You agree how many marks? Oh, 4 marks. Well, then grade 11 or grade 12 or grade whatever becomes nearer. Number 2, examiner says that given that y squared minus 9x squared, then 1.2.1, we are given this. The examiner gave us y squared minus 9x squared. Then they say factorize y squared minus 9x squared here. They need us to factorize this. So you know what is this? This is difference of 2 squares. Why difference of 2 squares? Because difference means different signs. Everything can be written as a perfect square. So you want the factors, when you multiply, you get y squared is y multiplied by y. You want the factors, when you multiply them, you get 9x squared. It's going to be 3x multiplied by 3x, then plus, then minus. Then we have managed to factorize, then you get 2 marks. Then 1.2.2 banaba go high. But hence or otherwise, solve the following equations simultaneously. We have y plus 3x equals to 2. We'll say this is the first equation. And then the second one, we have y squared minus 9x squared equals to 16. Then I'll say this is the second equation. So the examiner is saying, hence or otherwise, whatever that you got, solve for what? Solve for x. Now, if you can check here, remember we've managed to factorize y squared minus 9x squared. So we know what is y squared minus 9x squared. Then here they said y squared minus 9x squared equals to 16. And we know what is y plus 3x equals to 2. Can you see? So that's why they said hence or otherwise. It is so much, this one. It is paying 5 marks, this one. So hence or otherwise solve for x. So now, from here, you can make y subject of the formula from equation 1, then you come and substitute here if you want. Or you know that this thing, it can be factorized as this. Then you equate it to what? to 16. Then so what you can do, you can say from 1, y equals to what? 2 minus 3x. Isn't it? Then now we know what is y. Then I will come, then now substitute, then we'll say this is your equation number 3. Then I will substitute our equation 3 into equation 2. I'm going to make this simple because there are many ways to solve this, but I don't want to confuse you guys. So now, from equation 2, we have y squared minus 9x squared. This is squared. Y squared equals to 16. Then we know what is the y value. Y is y what? We got 2 minus 3x all squared, then minus 9x squared equals to what? 16. Then if we simplify this, expand and simplify, we'll have what? 4 minus 6x minus 6x minus 12x minus 3x positive 9x squared, then equals to 9x squared, not equals to minus 9x squared, then equals to what? 16. This guy and this guy, they get rid of one another, then we'll have what? Minus 12x. You take this to the other side, it becomes 16 minus 14. That's going to be what? Positive 12. Then you divide by negative, you divide by negative. Therefore, x equals to negative 1. You divide by negative 12, you divide by negative 12. Then, now, from equation 3, let's solve for y. Y equals to what? We got 2 minus 3x, which is going to be 2 multiplied by 3 into negative 1 because the x value. Then 2 minus 3 multiplied by minus 1, that's positive 3. 2 plus 3, that's 5. This is the y value. Then you are done. You get your 5 marks. I hope it's clear. Then now 1.3. 1.3, they're saying that given p of x equals to the square root of 3x minus 5 all over x minus 3, then 1.3.1. That's why, as I was saying, there are many ways to skin a cat here for 1.2.2 because you know this. You can come and substitute here. You substitute 2 because you know what is y plus 3 from here is 2. So, but because I wanted to make things simple so that on Friday we write very well and very nice. Now, 1.3.1, they are saying that for which value or values of x will p of x be real? Be real. For which values of x? Obvious of it. This is, remember, we are given p of x being equal to the square root of 3x minus 5 divided by x minus 3. So you know, we must have a restriction because if x can be 3, we know we won't have a solution because in mathematics, we don't want our denominator to be 0. Because we know any number divided by 0 is undefined, but 0 divided by any number is 0. Now, for us to have a real number, which means the value of x must be greater than 3. That's why here they say for which value or values of x will p of x be real. This p of x will be real if x is greater than 3. For any value that is greater than 3, this function will be real. Right, I hope it makes sense. 1.3.2. Then 1.3.2, gotta solve for x if p of x equals to 1. We need to solve for x if p of x equals to 1. We know what is p of x. P of x is the square root of 3x minus 5 all over x minus 3 equals to what? 1. Then from here, this is over 1, you cross multiply. The square root of 3x minus 5 multiplied by 1, it becomes 3. The square root of 3x minus 5 being equals to 1 multiplied by x minus 3. This is then, you isolate, you have isolate, then you square now. You square, and what you do on the left-hand side, you also do on the right-hand side. Then you will have what? 3x minus 5 equals to, if you expand and simplify this, you'll have x squared minus 3x, that's minus 6x, then minus 3 times minus 3, positive 9. You take everything to the other side by making this one subject of the formula. We'll have x squared minus 6x. Then you take minus 3x to the other side, it becomes minus 3x. Then plus 9. This is negative 5, it becomes positive 5 equals to 0. Then you collect the like terms. Minus 6 minus 3, that's minus 9x. Then 9 plus 5, you add 1, then you're going to get what? Positive 14. Right. Then now let's check it. Can we factorize? You can use the quadratic equation or you can factorize grade 9. Now we want the two factors when you multiply, you get x squared. X, not x squared, man. X multiplied by x. Then you want the two factors when you multiply, you get 14. When you add the two factors, you get 9. 7 times 2. 7 times 2 is 14. Then 7 plus 2, okay, 9. Then the bigger number, take the sign of the middle term. Then because of plus, it means same size. Then you apply the zero factor theorem, x equals to positive 7 or x equals to positive 2. Then that's it. So, and if you can check here, we don't have U3, my x value. We don't have U3. But if we got U3, we were going to say x equals to 3 is not the solution. I hope it is clear, that one. And then now we move to the question, which is 1.4, which is the last question for question 1. Then but calculate the value of d for which 6x squared plus 5x minus d equals to 0. These are nature of roots. Has equal roots. Calculate the value of d for which is 6x squared plus 5x minus d equals to 0. Has equal roots. So this one is a nature of roots. And when you know, for equal roots, which means our discriminant or our delta must be 0. Now let's find the discriminant. We know discriminant equals to b squared minus 4ac. What is the value of b? That's positive 5 all squared minus 4a is 6. And then multiply by c, negative d. Then we'll have what? 5 squared, that's 25. 4 multiplied by 6. 6 by 4 wenzangaki 24, right? Then minus 24. So that's going to be minus 24 times negative d. That's positive 24, then d. So therefore, this is our delta. It's 25 plus 24d. Then they said, calculate the value of d for which 6x squared has 6x squared plus 5x has equal roots, right? So we know if for equal roots, our delta must be 0. What is our delta? We got 25 plus 24d equals to 0. Then from here, you solve for d. 24d, you take this to the other side, becomes minus 25. Then, therefore, what is the value of d? You divide by 25, you divide by 25. d equals to minus 25 over 24. And you can't simplify this because this is an odd number, this is an even number. Even over odd, it doesn't change. Then, this was the last question for this question 1, which makes it a total of 30. So, Rasaya question 2, for now, get lost possible. Question 2.1. They're saying that simplify, you need to simplify 3 multiplied by 3 to the power x minus 4 multiplied by 3 to the power x plus 2, all divided by 3 to the power x minus 3 to the power x plus 1. So for us to simplify this, by looking at this question, I know the answer here using my prophecy and my profession. Answer is going to be 33 over 2. But what matters is how you solve this. Now, if you have something of this nature, we know we're going to break this and break this. And if you have negative or plus between the terms, you must think of a common factor. So now, here, what do we have? We know that any number, when you multiply parts of the same base, what do? You add the exponents. Lots of exponents. We're going to apply this law. So now, let's apply this law. This is the same as 3 multiplied by this minus, this can be written as, this can be expressed as 3 to the power x times 3 to the power 2. All divided by, this is the same as 3 to the power x minus, this one can be written as 3 to the power x times 3 to the power 1. Then now, if you can check on the left-hand side, the term on the left-hand side and the right-hand side, there's something that is common. You have something that is common, which is 3 to the power x. Then after taking out your common factor, we have vula. Then don't open too much. Then now 3 to the power x into 3 to the power x once. 1 multiplied by 3, 3. Then minus 3 to the power x into 3 to the power x once. 1 multiplied by 4 times 3 squared. That's going to be 4 multiplied by 3 squared. To close all over. Even here there's a common factor, which is what? 3 to the power x into this once. 1 times 1 is 1 minus 3 to the power x into 3 to the power x once. 1 multiplied by 3 to the power 1. That's 3. Then close the bracket. Then this will divide with this. Then we'll be left with what? 3 minus 4 times 3 squared. That's 9. All over 1 minus 2. What is 1 minus 3? That's negative 2. Then we'll have 3 minus 4 times 9. That's 36. All over minus 2. Then 3 minus 36, that's minus 33, all over minus 2. Then minus 33 divided by minus 2, that's 33 all over 2. And I said the answer to this problem is 33 over 2. So now, let's proceed. I hope it's clear. 2.2. 2.2, they're saying that simplify without the use of a calculator. The square root of 5 all over the square root of 5 plus 2 plus 10 all over the root of 5. So now, high. This one, we need to simplify this without the use of a calculator. If I check this and try to analyze this by inspection, utilizing my mathematical principles by profession, the answer to this is 5. But now, how do you get that? 5. Now, let's simplify this. Let's find the LCD, lowest common denominator. You multiply the 2. We'll have the square root of 5 into the root of 5 plus 2. Then we'll cross multiply the root of 5 times the root of 5. You will get 5. Plus 10 times this, you will have 10 into the root of 5 plus 2. Then let's simplify. This is the same as 5 plus 10 times the root of 5. That's 10 the root of 5. Then 10 times 2, that's 20. All divided by, now let's simplify this. The root of 5 times the root of 5, that's 5, plus the root of 5 times positive 2, that's 2, the root of 5. Let's collect the like terms on the numerator. 20 plus 5, that's 25, then plus 10, the root of 5. All divided by 5 plus 2, the root of 5. Now, in mathematics, we don't want our denominator to have what? The square root. So here, what are we going to do? We are going to rationalize. What is to rationalize? We multiply by 1. So I'm going to multiply by the denominator, but the conjugate of the denominator. What is the conjugate? It's the additive inverse of positive. So we'll have 5. What is the additive? Then it becomes minus 2, then the root of 5 all over 5, then minus 2, the root of 5. You rationalize the denominator, you multiply by 1. This is 1. This divided by this is 1. Then now, let's multiply. When you multiply fractions, numerators together, denominators together. So we'll have 25 plus 10, the root of 5, multiplied by 5 minus 2, the root of 5. And then all divided by 5 multiplied by this is going to be 5 plus 2, the root of 5, multiplied by 5 minus 2, the root of 5. Then now let's simplify. 25 multiplied by 5. About 25 by 5, they make 125. 25 times negative 2, that's negative 50, the root of 5. Then 10, the root of 5 times 5. 10 times 5, that's 50, then the root of 5. 10, the root of 5 times negative 2. Negative 2 times 20. 10 times negative 2, that's 20. Then the root of 5 times 5. The root of 5 times the root of 5, that's 5. 5 multiplied by negative 20, that's negative 100. all divided by. This is difference of two squares. 5 times 5, 25. 5 times negative 2, the root of 10. That's negative 10, the root of 5. Positive 2, the root of 5 times 5. That's positive 10, the root of 5. Then 2 multiplied by negative 2. That's negative. Then the root of 5 times the root of 5, that's 5. Then 2 times negative 2, that's negative 4. Negative 4 times 5, that's 20. Then this is 0. This is 0. 125 minus 100, that's 25. 25 minus 20, that's 5. Then which is 25 divided by 5, that's 5. So you see the answer to this is 5, as I said. Alright. I hope it's clear. Understand. Now 2.3. Let's move to 2.3. 2.3, they are saying that solve for x. Then we have 2.3.1. But to solve for x, this solve for x is always there, whether you like it or not. This is solve for x using rational exponents. So now for us to solve for x, firstly, you get rid of 5. You take out the coefficient, we'll have 2 over 5 being equals to 20. You divide by 5, divide by 5. Remember what to do on the left, also do on the right. So we'll have this being equals to, what is 20 over 5? That's 4. Then we have x to the power 2 over 5 being equals to 4 can be written as 2 squared. Then this is x to the power 2 all over 5. Now we want to solve for x. Now you want to get rid of 2 over 5. How can you get rid of 2 over 5? You multiply by the reciprocal of 2 over 5, which is 5 over 2. And what you do on the left, you also do on the right. So we have 2 to the power 2, all raised to the power 1. You multiply by 5 all over 2. Then now let's simplify. 2 will divide with 2, 5 will divide with 5, will be left with x. Then 5 over 2 times 2, 2 will divide with 2, then we are left with 2 to the power 5. What is 2 to the power 5? That's 32. Then that's your final answer. Then this is the value of x. Then if you want to show, or if you want to prove that your answer is correct, when you see x, you'll substitute 32. Then we'll get 20. Then now, 2.3.2. So here, they want us to solve for x. 2 to the power 12 to the power x multiplied by 3 to the power x plus 1 equals to 648. But I'm going to go ahead. To solve for x here, you want the factors of 12. And here the answer, if you can check, because this you divide by this, this will divide with this, then the answer is 3 over 2. Then now, let's check. 12 can be written, what are the factors of 12 is 2 squared multiplied by 3, all raised to the power x times 3 to the power x plus 1 equals to. What are the factors of 648? You punch your calculator, will say 648 equals to shift, then fact. That's 2 to the power 3 multiplied by 3 to the power 4. That's 2 to the power 3 multiplied by 3 to the power 4. Then now let's simplify. So here, we're going to apply this law, laws of exponents. If you have ab to the power m, this is the same as a to the power b times b all raised to the power m. We're going to use laws of exponents. So 2 multiplied by x, we keep the base. 2 times x is 2x. Multiplied by 3 to the power 1 times x is x, then times 3 to the power x plus 1 equals what? 2 to the power 3 times 3 to the power 4. Then when you multiply same basis, you add the exponents. So you have 2 to the power 2x multiplied by 3 to the power x plus 1 equals to 2 to the power 3 times 3 to the power x. Then we'll have 2 to the power 2x multiplied by 3 to the power x plus x, 2x then plus 1 equals to what? 2 to the power 3 times 3 to the power 4. Then from here, when I work hard, this we solve for x, this kind of solve for x of it. When you solve it, you'll equate same basis and equate same basis. But even here, even if you solve only one, you'll have same answers. So this one, LG tranquility, Ushukti. This one, we know 2, we base lang with 2 now upon 2. So this one will go with this one. Isn't it? We know base 3, which means this one will go with this one. That's what I'm saying. So now, let's solve now. So we'll have what? 2 to the power 2x equals to what? What is the base? Well, 2 to the power 3. Then you can say or. But even if you don't say that, there's no need for that. Even if you solve what? The answers for this are the same. So we have 3 to the power 2x plus 1 equals to 3 to the power of 4. Then same basis, you drop the exponent. So 2x equals to 3, or you drop the exponent, 2x plus 1 equals to 4. Then we'll have what? Therefore, obviously, here you'll have x equals to 3 over 2. Or here you'll have 2x equals to 4 minus 1, that's 3. Therefore, x equals to 3 over 2. Or you divide by 2, x equals to what? Can you see same value? So in simple terms, x equals to 3 over 2. That's why I said even if you just equate this one, then you solve for x, you'll get the same answer. Or you decide to equate this and this, then you are done. So this was the last question for question number 2. So now we're going to move to question number 3, which is number pattern for grade 10, linear pattern. I thank you. Question 3. Question 3, that they're saying that given the sequence, by given the sequence 10, 7, 4, then 1. They've made a mistake here. They wrote 2 instead of 1. So now let's find the difference. 1 minus 4, that's minus 3. 4 minus 7, that's minus 3. 7 minus 10, that's minus 3. So which means our difference is what? Is minus 3. They never said they want the difference. I'm just saying that our difference is minus 3. Then now let's shoot 2 questions. 3.1.1. This is a linear pattern, and you know a linear pattern, it is characterized by the first constant difference. So now this is our what? Our pattern. So 3.1.1, but write down the next 2 terms of the sequence. Remember, in a linear pattern, to proceed to the next term, you keep on adding the constant difference. To reverse, you keep on subtracting. So now, the next term, this is term number 1, term number 2, number 3, number 4. So term number 5 is going to be what? 1 plus minus 3, which is nothing but 1 minus 3. That's going to be minus 2. Then term number 6. They said write down the next 2 terms. The last term is minus 2. That's going to be minus 2 plus, then which is nothing but minus 5. These are our next 2 terms. Then 3.1.2. They say determine the formula for the nth term of the sequence. So they want us to find the what? The formula. And this is grade 10 of it. So the formula for grade 10, you know, is going to be Tn equals what? Bn plus C. What is B? This is the what? The difference. So it's going to be minus 3n then plus C. This is Tn. Then to find the value of C, you say C equals to what? Term number 1 minus D. What is term number 1? That's 10. Then minus into what? Minus 3. That's going to be 13. Therefore, our formula, it is Tn equals to minus 3 and then plus 13. I hope it's clear. This is our formula. Then if you don't want to use this one, you can use this one. But this is the standard one, the grade 10 one. So you can use this Tn equals to A plus D into n minus 1. Maybe most of you are familiar with this one. The first term, what is the first term here? Is 10. Our difference minus 3 then into n minus 1. Then we'll have 10 minus 3 times this, that minus 3, and this, that's positive 3. Then we collect the like terms. So you'll have what? Minus 3n, 10 plus 3, that's 13. You get the same answer. So either way, I hope it makes sense and it's clear. Mathematics is very nice. Alright, 3.1.3. But which term of the sequence is equal to 1 minus 179? So they want to know which term, which position they want n equals to minus 179. So our last term, which is our Tn, equals to minus 179. Then now, we know what is Tn. Our Tn, we got what? We got minus 3n plus 13. That's equals to minus 179. Then you take this to the other side, you take this to the other side. So we'll have positive 3n being equals to what? 13 plus 179. We'll have 3n being equals to, what is 13 plus 179? That's going to be 192. 192. That's going to be 192. Then you so therefore you divide by 3, you divide by 3, you'll get what? 64. Then you say therefore T 64 is the one that equals to minus 179. So term number 64 is the one that equals to minus 79. This is grade 10, 3.2. 3.2, they're saying, given the 3 terms of a linear sequence, we are given 3x minus 2. And then we're also given x plus 9. We are also given 2x plus 5. Then they're saying that determine the value of x. They want us to find the value of x. So when you know that this is term number 1, this is term number 2, this is term number 3. So you know that to find the difference, you say this term number 3 minus T2, then T2 minus this. So you know that T3 minus T2 equals to T2 minus T1. You know. Because this is a linear pattern, it is characterized by the first constant difference. After subtracting, if you can see here, you must have same constant difference. What is term number 3? That's 2x plus 5 minus into what is term number 2? X plus 9. You subtract the whole term. What is term number 2? X plus 9 minus what is term number 1? 3x minus 2. Then let's simplify. We'll have 2x plus 5 from negative and x, negative and positive minus 9 equals to x plus 9, negative and this minus 3x, this and this positive 2. Then we'll collect the like terms. 2x minus x, we'll have x. 5 minus 9 minus 4 equals to x minus 3x, that's negative 2x. 9 plus 2, that's positive 11. Then you take this to the other side, it becomes positive x plus 2x, that's 3x. Equals to, you take this to the other side, it becomes positive 11 plus 40 plus 11, that's 15. You divide by 3, you divide by 3. Therefore, 15 divided by 3, that's 5. This is the value of x. Here they said they want the value of x, which brings us to the end of question 3, which is number pattern. Now we're going to move to question 4, functions. I think. And we're given this function, question 4. I meant to say question. This is question 5. Because question 4, question 4, but right. Question 5 here, they're saying that S1 is to 18. S1 is to 18 here is the turning point on the graph of f at x equals to ax squared plus bx plus c. And then P and T are the x-intercepts of f. We know P and T are the x-intercepts. So now, what are the coordinates of T? You know, x is to 0. Even more, P is going to be what? X is to 0. So these are the coordinates of T and P, since P and T are the x-intercept of f. That graph grx equals to minus 2x plus 8. This is a straight line. Has the x-intercepted T. This is the x-intercepted T. Then R is the point of intersection of f and g. Then R is the point of intersection of the two functions. And you know, at the point of intersections, the two functions are equal. The graph of f equals to the graph of g, because the x or value of f and g is the same as the y value of f and g. Point of intersection. Now, then we have what? The turning point. So 1 is the axis of symmetry. We know here there's an axis of symmetry. What is a line of axis of symmetry? Is a line that cuts the graph into two equal halves. So now, let's solve. Then 5.1. 5.1, they're saying that. 5.1, they're saying that write down the range of f. So you know the range of f, this is concave down. The value of a is negative. So the range is going to be y is less or equals to the value of q. What is the value of q? 18. Wagra 1 mark. Then 5.2. 5.2, determine the equation of f in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. Show all your workings. So now, we need to find the equation of this function. But we know that for us to determine the equation of a parabolic function, we need, here we have a turning point. So for us to solve for a, we need a point that lies on the graph. We have 2 points that lies on the graph, point R and point T. So if we can find the coordinates of t, because we know the equation of a straight line, we just let y to be 0, we find the coordinates of t, then we can be able to find our equation. So we'll start by saying let y to be 0, and then our graph, it is g at x being equals to minus 2x plus 8. Then 0 equals to minus 2x plus 8. To take this to the other side, it becomes positive 2x. Then therefore x equals to what? 4. Therefore the coordinates of t are what? 4 maps 0. So now I'm no longer having access to 0 here. I'm now having what? 4 maps with 0. Then now, let's solve now our graph. Then now, our f at x equals to a into x minus p all squared plus q. Why am I using this equation? Because I'm given the turning point. What is the value of a unknown? Then x into, here is what? It's positive 1, so minus 1 all squared, then plus 18, the value of q. This is our graph. But there's something that is missing. What is it? The value of a. For us to solve for a, we need any point that lies on the parabolic function. We've managed to find the coordinates of t, which is 4 maps with 0. Y value there is 0, which is a into x value 4, then minus 1 all squared plus 18. Then you take this to the other side, you'll have what? Minus 18 being equals 4 minus 1, that's 3. Then 3 squared, that's 9 times a, 9a. Then therefore, you have 9a being equals to minus 18. Therefore, the value of a is going to be minus 18 divided by 9. That's minus 2. This is the value of a. Then you come and substitute here. So we have f at x being equals to, we had this, x minus 1 all squared plus 18. Then now we know what is the value of a. That's negative 2 into. If you expand and simplify this, we'll have x squared minus 2x plus 1. Then plus 18. Then we distribute negative 2 times this. Minus 2x squared, negative 2 and negative 2, positive 4x. Negative 2 and 1, minus 2. Then plus 18. Then we'll have minus 2x squared. Then 4x. Minus 2 plus 18, that's positive 16. Then this is our graph. Then you get how many marks? 4 marks. It was saying 4 marks. Then 5.3. 5.3, they are saying that if f at x equals to minus 2x squared plus 4x plus 16, so which means now we are now confident that whatever that we've managed to solve is correct, because 5.3, it says that if f at x equals to minus 2x squared plus 4x plus 16, calculate the coordinates of r. They want r. What is r? Is the point of intersection. So you know, at the point of intersection, f at x equals to what? G at x. I've explained that. What is g? Minus 2x squared plus 4x plus 16. Then what is g? Minus 2x and then plus 8. Then now from here, you solve. I will take this, everything to the other side. I will have what? 2x squared, positive 2x squared, then minus 2x minus 4x, then plus 8 minus 16 equals to what? 0. So we'll have 2x squared minus 2 minus 4, that's minus 6x. 8 minus 16, that's negative 8 equals to what? 0. Then everything here is divisible by 2. Therefore, we'll have what? X squared minus 3x minus 4 equals to what? 0. You factorize, or you can use quadratic equation. X. You want the factors 1 multiply, get 4. When you subtract to get 3, that's 4 and 3. That's 4 and 1. You want the factors 1 multiply, get 4 and subtract to get 3. The bigger number takes the sign of the middle term, then this one, because it's negative, that's positive. Then we'll have x equals to positive 4 or x equals to negative 1. Then you check the x value of here is negative. And can you see this 4? Because even t is the point of intersection. Then this one is not our solution because we are calculating the coordinates of r. Therefore, x equals to what? -1. Then for us to solve the y value, you take your x values, either you substitute on the graph of f or the graph of g. So I'll choose g. The grx equals to what? -2x plus 8. Then g of -1 equals to -2 times -1, then plus 8. Then we'll have what? 2 plus 8, that's 10. Therefore, the coordinates of r is what? -1 maps with 10. Then you come and substitute here now. We know what are the coordinates of r. The coordinates of r is -1 maps with 10. Then now, let's proceed with our work without further ado. Then now, 5.1, 5.3.2. 5.3.2, they are saying that determine the equation of h at x if h is the reflection of f about the x-axis. So h at x is the reflection of f. If you reflect the graph of f along the x-axis, you obvious, only y values will be affected. So we'll say minus f at x because the y values will be affected to multiply by negative. So we'll have minus into what is the graph of f? We got -2x squared plus 4x plus 16. Then we simplify, we'll have 2x squared, negative and positive minus 4x, this and this minus 16. I hope it's clear. Then you get that 2 marks. Then now, let's move with our graph. Our question then, 5.4. 5.4, graph interpretation. Use your graphs to solve for x, where f at x is greater or equals to g at x. So here they are saying solve for x, use the graphs to solve for x, where f at x is greater or equals to g at x. You must know the two functions are greater or equals to at the point of intersection. So we want the values of x where f at x is greater or equals to g. So the two functions will only be equal at the point of intersection. But we want where f at x in a peso, it must be above g at x. Now let's read the graph. Always when you read the solution, you read the graph from left to right. So let's read the two functions. If we read the function, the parabolic function from here until here, it is below. This one is greater. So we want f to be above. If you can see from the point of intersection, your f is above tot here. Can you see between these two values? So what is our solution? You will say from between -1 is less or equals to x is less or equals to what? Then 4. This is where the two functions f at x is greater or equals to g at x. Then if you don't want to write like this, you can just say x is an element exactly from -1 until 4, then include. So this and this is one and the same thing. This is an interval form, this is a set. Now, 5.4.2. Then 5.4.2, they are saying that for which values of x, use the graph -2x squared, then plus 4x, then plus 16 is less than 0. And you know what is this graph? You know what is -2x squared plus 4x plus 16? This is f at x. So in simple terms, they want x values where the graph of f is below 0. And this graph will only be below 0 here. Can you see here it's below, then from here it's above. So we need to find the x value here. Because we need to find the x value here. That's why it says 4 marks. So for you to solve for x here, you know this is the x-intercept. So, or you know what is the axis of symmetry. Here they give us the axis of symmetry, which is 1. So we know the distance from here to here is 3 units. You just say 4 minus 1. And then we'll say from here to here again, you move 3 units. So for you to find the coordinates of what? Of point P. So The distance from, remember, a line of axis of symmetry is a line that cuts the graph into two equal halves. So from here to here, from 1 to 4, that's 3 units. Because 4 minus 1, that's 3. Then you'll move from 1 to this. You move how many units? 3 units. So what is 3 minus 1? That's 2. So which means the coordinates of P is going to be minus 2 maps with 0. If you use the axis of symmetry, the distance between the graph. Right. Now, but you can do this. You can just say let y to be 0. Then what is our graph? We got minus 2x squared plus 4x then plus 16 equals to 0. Then you take everything to the other side, or I will just divide by minus 2. Therefore, we'll have what? X squared minus 4 divided by minus 2, that's negative 2x. This divided by, that's negative 8 equals to 0. X, you want the factors when you multiply, get 8. When you subtract, to get 2. That's 4 and 2. The bigger number, then this one plus. Then you'll have x equals to what? 4, or x equals to what? Minus 2. That's why I said the coordinates of P is minus 2 maps with 0. But you can use this if that the one that I was saying, it confuses you. So minus 2 is to 0. There are many ways to skin a cat, guys. Then now, therefore, obviously, who follow this is the last one. Then, therefore, the coordinates of x equals to minus 2. Therefore, the coordinates of P are going to be minus 2 is to 0. But they never said they want the coordinates of P. They said they want the value of x where f at x is less than 0. When you read the graph from left to right, from negative infinity until this point, the graph is below 0. Then from here until here, it is above. Then again from here, going to the right, it is below 0. So for all the values that are less than 2 and all the values that are greater than 4, so we'll say x is less than 1, minus 2, or x is greater than 4. Then if you don't write it like this, you can just say x is an element from where? From negative infinity, from where the graph it is going, negative infinity, until where? Minus 2. But you don't include then union. Union is all. You unite because we have two solutions. Again, from 4 until infinity. This is your solution. This is where f at x it is below 0. Which brings us to the end of question 5, which was carrying 17 marks. Come go. I thought we were saying 9. Question 4. Question 4. They're saying that given f at x equals to 4 to the power minus x and minus 2. So this is an exponential graph, and if you can see this graph, you have minus x, which means this graph, it was reflected along the what? The y-axis. That's why we have minus x here, but as equal to that. Then this is the value of q, and the value of b is greater than 1. So now we have 4.1. Then they say calculate the coordinates of the intercepts of f with the x-axis. So obviously they want the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So let's start with the x-intercept. You know, you let y to be 0. So our graph, we have 4 to the power minus x minus 2 will be equals to 0. Then 4 to the power minus x equals to 2. Then 2 to the power 2 minus x equals what? 2. Then you multiply, you'll have 2 to the power minus 2x equals to 2. Same basis you dropped. So minus 2x equals to 1. Therefore, x equals to negative 1 over 2. So our x-intercept is minus 1 over 2 times is to 0. Then our y-intercept, we must let x to be 0. So our graph it is given as f at x equals to 4 to the power minus x, then minus 2. Our f of 0 is going to be 4 to the power minus 0, then minus 2. Then minus 0, 4 to the power 0, any number raised to the power 0 is 1. 1 minus 2, that's negative 1. Therefore, we'll have 0 is to minus 1. This is the y-intercept of f. Then 4.2. Let me write 4.2 here. 4.2, they're saying that write down the equation of the asymptote of f. Obvious. Y equals to q. What is q? Minus 2. This is the equation of the asymptote, 1 mark. Then 4.3. 4.3, they are saying that sketch the graph of f, clearly indicate all intercepts and the asymptotes. So now let's draw this graph. Let's draw this graph. Let's draw the graph. Surely we know what is this. This is a Cartesian plane. Then these are the x, these are the y. Then this is the origin, this is 0. Then now, what are our coordinates? Let's start. Before you can draw this function, always you start with the asymptote. Then we have an asymptote at -2. What is an asymptote? Is where the function is undefined. We have an asymptote here. We know this graph, it doesn't pass through this point. Then what are the x-intercept? The x-intercept is -1 is to 0. -1 is to 0 is here. And then we have 0 is to -1. 0 is to -1 is here. So our graph is going to be something of this nature. This is our exponential graph. Then we are done. Then more we know the coordinates of this point is what? 0 is to -1. Then here -half is to 0. Then this is the equation y equals to -2. I hope it's clear. Then 4.3, 4.4 now. 4.4, they are saying that write down the equation of G. If G is the graph of f shifted 2 units upward. So they want the graph of G. So G at x equals what? F at x. If they shift f at x, so it's going to be f at x plus 2 because upward. Up is 2 units. I get positive 2 is up. So what is the graph of f? 4 to the power -x, then -2, then plus 2, which is nothing but 4 to the power -x. This is the graph of G. And if you can shift this graph 2 units, you can see the asymptote is going to be at 0 because you move the asymptote 2 units up. 1, 2. You see, that's why it's now the value of Q is now 0. I hope it's clear. It was 1 mark, 4.5. 4.5, they're saying that write down the equation of H, the reflection of F about the line y equals to 0. So the line about the line y equals to 0, this is the line y equals to 0. Remember, y is 0 here. This is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. And on the y-axis, you know x equals to 0. On the x-axis, y equals to 0. So they want you to write the equation of H is the reflection of this graph. If you reflect this graph along the line, which is y equals to 0. So now you need to reflect this. And if you can reflect this along the equation y equals to 0, you know what is going to be affected. It's the same as you reflect this graph along the x-axis because y is 0 here. So you affect y. So h of x is going to be negative what? F at x, which is minus into what? 4 to the power minus x, then minus 2. This is the graph of f, which is nothing but -4, then minus x, then plus 2. Then now, this is the graph, you get 2 marks. It was 2 marks. Then 4.5, 4.6. 4.6. But if it is given that p of x, if it is given that p of x equals to minus x squared plus 4x plus 1. Calculate the maximum value of f at x equals to 4 to the power minus p of x minus 2. So if it is given that p of x equals to minus x squared plus 4x plus 1, calculate the maximum. But so this question is 4 marks. And under exponential graph, this is the trick. It's one of the tricks under exponential functions. When they say they give you a parabolic function, they want you to find the maximum. What is the maximum? Because this is concave, this graph is concave down, it will have the maximum. So you know what is the maximum value. If you want the maximum value, is the y value of the turning point. So we need to find the turning point, the y value of the turning point for this function. So I will come and say x equals to minus b all over 2a, which is minus into what is the value of b from the parabolic function? It's 4. The value of a, negative 1. Then here, if you simplify, you'll get 2. Then now let's find p of x, the y value of the turning point. P of x is given as this. Then plus, it was plus 1, right? Yeah, plus 1. Then let's find p of 2. Minus into 2 all squared, then plus 4 times 2 plus 1. Let's use our calculator. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 1, that's 9. 2 squared, that's 4. Minus 4 plus 9. That's going to use subtract and take the sign of the bigger number. 9 minus 4, that's 5. So therefore, p of 2 equals what? That's 5, which is your p of x. P of x equals 5. Then now, they said calculate the maximum value of what? Of f of x equals to 4 to the power minus p of x, then minus 2. Then we'll say 4 to the power minus, what is p? K5, we got 5, then minus 2. Then you press your calculator. This is going to be 1 over 4 to the power 5, then minus 2. Then you simplify. What is this? Punch your powerful tool. You'll get what? That's going to be 1 over 4 to the power 5, that's 10, 24. Then minus 2. Then you can simplify. This and this will give us 10, 24 multiplied by 2. And then 1 minus this. We'll get minus 24, 7 over 10, 24. Surely you can simplify this. So this is the answer. I will leave it like this because when it says minus 1,99999, which is, if you round off to 2, the standard rounding off, that's minus 2. This is the maximum value of this graph. It is minus 2. And then, watopa dimaraga walatelaga begin wanaga. Grade 12 becomes nearer for you. And then matric learners, tertiary becomes nearer for you. So this was question 4. I will come back. Move to question 6. A sketch of a hyperbola f at x equals to x minus d, where d and p are constants, is given below. So this is what we have. The dotted lines are the asymptotes. So these are the asymptotes. We have the vertical asymptote and the horizontal asymptote. So, and then the asymptotes intersect at P. The asymptote, they intersect at P. And B 2:0 is a point on F. B 2:0 is a point on the graph of F. So since they said the asymptote, they intersect at P, so we know the coordinates of P is going to be minus 1 maps with 1. Because the horizontal asymptote, it passes through 1, and the vertical asymptote, it passes through minus 1. Then the coordinates of A, we know, is going to be 0 maps with Y. Then now, for 6.1, let's hear 6.1. So this is a hyperbolic function, Buffet. It's very simple. Determine the value of D and P. They want us to find the value of D and P. So obvious, we know what is P. Can you see from the graph here? The asymptote is minus 1. So which means if the value of vertical asymptote, which is minus 1, which means P is going to be what? Minus 1. So p is minus 1. So that it's minus minus, which is going to be x plus p, which is 1. Then let's find the value of d. So f at x is given by x minus d all over what? X minus p, which is nothing but x minus d all over x minus into minus 1, which is x minus d all over x plus 1. So now this is f. Then now we need to solve for d. We have a point. To substitute the y value, substitute the x value. So y value is 0, then x is 2, then minus d all over 2 plus 1, which we're going to have what? 0 equals to 2 minus d all over 3. This is over 1, we cross multiply. So we'll have 2 minus d being equals to 3 times 0 is 0. You take this to the other side, which implies that d for d equals what? 2. I hope everyone is clear on that one. 6.2. 6.2, but show that, more we need to prove, required to prove, show that f at x equals to minus 3 all over x plus 1, then plus 1. 2 marks. Though we need to prove that f, this graph, it can be written as this. So, but we know that our f at x, it is written in the form of x minus d all over what? X minus p. So we know what is d. It is 2 all over. We know here it's x plus 1. That's what we got here, from here. So now, this is our graph. F at x equals to x minus 2 over x plus 1. So now, perfect. There's a trick with the hyperbolic function, especially this question. Always you must write your numerator in terms of the denominator. How do you simplify the numerator in terms of the denominator? Always the denominator is the one that will guide you. So I'm going to have x. Remember here I'm having what? X plus 1. So yini into engingathi mangi simplifier. Yakonomfama minus 2 here. We have minus 2 here. Obviously I know that minus 3 plus 1. It will give me what? Minus 2. Then all divided by x plus 1. Why I'm using 1 is because of the denominator. That's why I'm going to express the numerator in terms of the denominator. Then minus 2 can be written as minus 3 plus 1. Then now from here, you know that a plus b all over c is the same as a over c plus b over c, grade 2, grade 1 or grade r. So I'm going to have what here? We're going to have what? We're going to have x minus, we're going to have x plus 1 all over x plus 1 minus 3 all over x plus 1. I hope it makes sense here. Then I'm going to have what? This x plus 1 divided by x plus 1, that's 1. Then minus 3 all over x plus 1. Therefore, f at x, you know, a hyperbolic function is not in the form of this. It can be written then as minus 3 all over x plus 1, then plus 1, which is the required to prove. I hope it makes sense and you understand, guys. I've tried my level best at my ability to marinate. Now, move with LG tranquility. You will win, guys. Now, 6.3. Write down the domain of f. The domain of hyperbolic function is very simple. You just say x is an element of real numbers, but where x is not equals to the value of p. What is the value of p? Which is the asymptote. Minus 1. Then 6.4. 6.4, they are saying that here. Write down the coordinates of p. Write down the coordinates of p. Even though we wrote the coordinates of p is minus 1 is to 1. Because the asymptote they meet at p. Then 6.5. 6.5, they're saying that determine the coordinates of c. They want us to find the coordinates of c if c is the reflection. If c, we want the coordinates of c. If c is the reflection of b in the point p. If c is the reflection of this point in the point of, so around c it will be somewhere here. And then if it's the reflection of b in the p, so which means p will be our what? Our midpoint. So now we know what is the midpoint. Then we want c, so you will use the midpoint formula. So the x value of p equals to the x value at c plus the x value at what? At b. All over 2. What is the x value of p? Minus 1. equals to the x value at C unknown x. Then what is the x value at B? 2. All over 2. Then we'll cross multiply. So we'll have x plus 2 being equals to 2 times this is negative 2. Therefore, x minus 2 minus, this is positive 2. Then minus 2 minus 2, that's minus 4. Then now, let's find the y value. Same thing. The y value of P equals to the y value at C, then plus the y value at B, all over 2. What is the y value of the midpoint, which is P? 1. The y value at C, unknown, 1. Then what is the y value at B? Plus 0, all over 2. This is over 1, cross multiply. Y plus 0, that's y, equals what? 2 times 1, that's 2. Therefore, the coordinates of C is going to be minus 4 maps with 2. I hope it's clear. That's why I said that point will be here. Because they said you reflect B. C is the reflection of B upon B. P. So now, 6.6. 6.6, they're saying that determine the equation of the axis of symmetry of F, which has a negative gradient in the form of y equals to. So they want us to determine the equation of line of axis of symmetry, which has a what? A negative gradient. So now, remember, for us to determine the equation of axis of symmetry, we use this for negative gradient. It's minus x plus p plus q, which is nothing but minus x, and then plus, what is the value of p? It's minus 1. Remember, p we said is minus 1. Then what is the value of q? Q is 1 plus 1. So we have minus x, this and this, minus 1 plus 1, which is nothing but minus x. So this is the equation of line of axis of symmetry, which has a what? A negative gradient. Then this brings us to the end of the hyperbolic function, which it was carrying 11 marks. Until next time, keep practicing, keep improving. God bless. Peace.